Player 2 has joined the game.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 386 of the Two Player Co-op Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts here, Kevin, along with my brother from my mother, Sean.
How we doing?
Fantastic. If this is the first time you're ever seeing, hearing, or listening to us, this is the Two Player Co-op Podcast, where just about every week, two brothers get together to tell you everything you need to know about in the world of video games. If you like that, make sure you like the video, subscribe, share it with your friends, family, and everyone in betwixt. If you really like us, you can go to patreon.com/2playercoop, where we got a lot of different benefits for you people. But the most popular tier is the $5 producer tier, where you can watch us record the podcast live on YouTube as we are doing right now, even when we are remote because life. You also get a bonus episode every month. And if you miss the live recording, you get the podcast live one day early on Patreon. Some of our patrons deserve, that was a weird thing that I said, deserve a shout out. Just like our patron saint, the man with the bar named after him, Mr. John Tingley, as well as our affiliates, Derek Bamford, James Solar. Make sure you check out James Games and more on YouTube, and Mom. Also our producers, Steve Appleton, Aunt Sue, and Dustin Downs. As always, if you like cool t-shirts and the like, you can go to teespring.com/store/2playercoop. I actually got a bone to pick with our store, because it's annoying. Oh, he's on meds now and they're working. Interesting. See, I always wondered if that stuff actually worked. I don't know what I was saying.
Bone to pick with the store?
Oh, yeah. I ordered one of these, except not that big. Just I wanted one of our Circle logo stickers like a month ago, and it's like, yeah, it'll be there by June 2nd. June 1st, I'm like, it still says it's printing. They're like, yeah, sorry, there's was a delay at the warehouse.
It's a very slow printer.
I'm like, is it a dot matrix?
Whatever happened? So whatever happened with your Target order? Did you cancel it, or is it still?
Let's just get into this. Everything turned out okay. I have my Switch 2. I have a barking dog also. Wow, you can see OBS in it. There it is. There we are. Hi. So if you watched last week or listened last week, yes, I had quite the odyssey when it comes to my Switch 2. It all came to a head Thursday, June 5th, the morning, because all of you lovely people that are in our Discord are like, I got mine from Walmart. Look at this. They even gave me a Coke and chips. And Sean, the night before, was still saying it's preparing to ship. We don't know why, blah, blah, blah. Oh, by the way, I found out from my therapist, because his was the same thing. He didn't think he was getting his from Walmart. He was calling customer service, all this stuff. He found out that there is the reason it only said preparing to ship for you is probably, as well as probably everybody else that did Walmart, there is like a little logo up in one of the corners where if it's a shopping bag, it means it's coming to you from the store. But if it's like a box, like a package, that means it's coming from the warehouse. But there's nothing in your order anywhere that would have let you know that. You just have to, it's one of those things you need to know. Annoying. So I'm getting annoyed. I'm checking my order and Sean's like, hey, any luck, Kevin? Preparing to ship from Target. I'm like, this is some bullshit. This is so stupid. This is so annoying. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then more people in the Discord are getting theirs from Walmart. Sean gets his. He's LOLing, I'm sure. And I'm finally like, this sucks. I'm just not getting mine today. Like, I didn't even really want this thing that bad, but now that I can't have it, the FOMO is going to kill me. So I'm out there at like 8 a.m. getting ready to go up for work and to go up to my office and start working. And I see a tweet from work because I'm on my way out to just talk to Jess, out in the pool house working. And I was going out there and I was going to just bitch and moan because I was so mad. But on the way there, I get an alert from Wario. Like, let me look. He said, hey, Target's got Switches in stock online. Your mileage may vary or whatever. Like, okay, fine. Click it. It opens in the Target app. So I make sure I'm looking at my Target and it says Switch 2 in stock. but the pickup button is grayed out. Like you can't do pickup. I'm like, they probably don't even know. They probably think they have them and they don't have them, whatever.
Yeah.
And as I'm bitching to Jess, she's like, why don't you just like go to Target? We're like out in Collierville. I don't think people are really going to be lining up like out in Collierville to try to get one. I was like, you know what? That's a good idea. I go up to the store. I see people walking out of the store. 2 people, I think, walked by me with a Switch 2 in their bag. And I was like, son of a bitch. They do have them, or they did, and now they don't. I get all the way back to electronics. And I'm trying not to be a weirdo. I'm trying to just walk normally. By the way, I was walking with my bright red Player One Mario shirt. So I'm like, you couldn't be any more of a friggin' dork than I looked like. All the way to the back to electronics, and I see a line. I'm like, oh God, okay, I'm going to do this. There's like 6 or 7 people ahead of me. I don't know what it was. And somebody has just gotten a Switch and they were walking out. Actually, he was getting back in line because he wanted to buy a 256 gig, XD or XS, whatever the memory card is that you need for it. And he's talking to somebody on the phone. He's like, yeah, I got it. They didn't have a lot, but I just got it. Yeah, I got it. I still got to get the memory card. Okay, bye. And then a lady comes up and she's just like, you want the memory card, right? Yeah. She said, here, you can just go pay for it up front. You don't got to wait for this. Okay, cool. And I'm like, ma'am, how many do you have? Like, do you have Switches? At this point, I'm like, I'll pay $80 for Mario Kart. I don't even friggin' care. I need this thing today. And she's like, we've got some. I don't know how many. And I can see the bit, like the cage, like the rolling cage thing back there by the register. And I'm like, okay, I'm trying to see. And I see red boxes, but there's no way on the side to tell if it's like a Mario Kart bundle or a regular console. Waiting there for a few minutes, I get an email from FedEx. Oh, your shipment from Target is arriving. Because it was still saying, it wasn't even saying it was going to arrive between the 5th and the 11th anymore. It said it's coming yesterday, June 11th. But then I get the email as I'm standing in line that it says your shipment from Target is shipped. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Okay. But then I go pull up the tracking number. It's too early. We can't tell you when it's going to get there. So I'm like, all right, screw it. I'm going to stay in line. Hopefully I get something. And then I see the lady is walking down the aisle and she's going, bundle? Yeah. And she's handing out tickets. Bundle? Yeah. Bundle? And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. And I forget what my number was, but they had like, I think 25 of the Switch bundles, and I was number 17 or 18 or 19, something like that. I can't remember. But I got up there and I was talking to the lady and I was like, yeah, I'm only here because y'all screwed up my order because yada, yada, yada. And she said, oh, yeah, I've heard about that. They told us that a lot of them are going to be like coming from stores. Like they'll ship them to the stores first and then they'll go out. They're not going to go direct to people from the warehouse or something. And I was like, that would have been good to know. I don't think it ended up being true because I got mine from FedEx the next day. So I have now spent $1,100, probably almost $1,200 on Switches because Switches get stitches. So I got my Switch. I took it home. I was very happy. Then my other Switch came the next day and it's still just sitting down there. Now, I did hear that they're going online for like $800, which I think is crazy because just a few days ago, I went to Target for something else and I was like, let me swing by the electronics department. There was like 4 Mario Kart bundles just sitting there behind the glass. And I'm like, wow, I guess they actually did make enough of these things. I don't think I'm going to try to sell it online. I'm not going to do another Facebook Marketplace thing with people trying to offer me guns in exchange for a Switch or gold chains or something. I'm not going to do that. So that was my Odyssey with getting my Switch 2. I have an extra dock, James. Son of a bitch. Oh,
wait, so what's the latest with your Target order? When is that?
I got it the day after. That's what I'm saying. I have 2 Switches now. Okay. I have 2 Switches. It came the next day. So I did all that stressing and everything for nothing. And I was so busy at work that I didn't even get to play the thing until and by the time I did transfer from one system to the other and download Mario Kart, it's downloading all my games. No, I want Mario Kart to download first, yada, yada. I didn't even play it till like after dinner. So I would have had to wait just until the next morning to get it. But, oh well, I didn't have to stress out that much. But I don't want to talk like we're on a work call, but we don't have time for any witty banter other than Switch stuff because I have a hard stop where I have to go get my child in about an hour. So Sean, I've talked a lot. Your Switch 2 What do you think?
Um, so I was really happy when I got it. Um, it is kind of weird having nothing but Mario Kart. I mean, I downloaded all the Nintendo or the whatever Switch Online stuff.
Oh, I
I
still got to
fired
try
up
GameCube.
I fired up Wind Waker real quick just to see. I didn't really do anything, but I'm like, yep, it works. That's all I really care about. I did go into Breath of the Wild, started a new game just to see. So I was confused on how that works because I asked ChatGPT, she flat out lied. I'm like, how do I download the Switch 2 update for Breath of the Wild? And it's like, well, just make sure Breath of the Wild is up to date. And when you launch it, it'll ask you. I'm like, okay.
Nope.
So I launched it, and I guess going all the way back to when I updated my Switch the first time and I lost my Breath of the Wild save, I don't think I ever played it again. So it was acting as if I never played it. So I didn't go to any like startup screen, main menu. Like it was just boom into the game. And I'm like,
Oh, okay.
okay, well, this is not the Switch 2 version. I could tell because I think I did this after loading up Wind Waker. And I'm like, it looks about the same just in terms of not very crispness and just like, you just see him
30
like lying
frames.
there. Yeah. I'm like, okay, well, this clearly isn't right. So I ended up just going to the Switch store and found it there. And then like I downloaded it. I'm like, okay. So I loaded that up right after, and having gone pretty much right from the Switch 1 version to the Switch 2 version, watching the same cutscene, I'm like, oh, okay, that's a big difference. And then once I got up and started moving around, I'm like, okay, this is not the Zelda I remember. This is beautiful. And I got just far enough to just go out there, see, get to the title splash screen, whatever, and just almost tried to force myself to like, the episode of Raymond when Ray sees Deborah crying, and then at the end of the episode, he puts on the sad song, and he's like sitting on the couch, like trying to make himself cry, and then he ends up putting Lady Marmalade on and dancing.
That's the Lady Marmalade episode.
Yes.
He's like, you.
So, so that's kind of what I felt like. I'm like trying to force myself to like, oh my God, this is amazing, and I'm like, it wasn't quite the same as the first time.
It couldn't be,
and
right?
And it never will be. But there was a part of me that was just like, I do remember how amazing this was experiencing it for the first time. I'm like, no part of me wants to go back and play it, but this part is awesome. And just seeing the whole world out in front of you and whatever. So it was beautiful. Mario Kart's fun. It's a little overwhelming, all the rails and the walls and there's almost like too much stuff to do. I'm not sure how much I like it. I don't know that I like it any better than 8, to be honest with you. I think I'm still trying to get a grasp of everything. It's just insane. Like there's too much stuff going on. There's too much like it's almost like there's not even a racetrack at parts. It's just like it's an open world. All you gotta do is get to the finish line. And sometimes we'll push you back where you're supposed to be, but it's like I don't know. It's like sometimes they don't even try to keep you on the track, and I don't know. I feel like there's all these shortcuts that I'm missing, and I don't know. It's definitely fun, but I'm also like, I'm gonna need something else besides Mario Kart to play on this stat. But it's beautiful. I enjoy it. It's definitely just Mario Kart.
Well,
I haven't played online at all yet. But yeah.
so the actual Switch 2. So this is what's crazy to me. First off, I think this is a really kick-ass piece of technology. I think
just when I opened it, I'm like, oh my God, like
yeah.
At first I couldn't tell how much bigger it was. I'm like, this is definitely an improvement. And then once I got my old Switch out to start the whole transfer process, I'm like, oh yeah, this is so much better. Yeah.
It's crazy.
It just feels so much more solid.
And like the bezel is so small. It just felt like when I saw it, I was like, okay, cool. Oh, by the way, remember how, and I'll get to my one issue with it, which really just affects me and a small percentage of people. When I was having my issue and James or somebody was like, Did you? Oh no, it was you. You were like, did you? And you were just asking, like, seriously. You're like, did you put it in the right way? Like, did you put it in upside down? Or you were like, he probably put it in upside down or something. I was like, haha, that's really fucking funny. You want to know why it's really fucking funny? Because when I turned it on the first time, it apparently was upside down. And I turned it on. I was like, oh my god, this screen's amazing. And it was like, you need to detach your Joy-Cons and switch them the sides. And I was like, what? Wait a minute. I was like, oh yeah, okay, I forgot. There's a USB-C on both sides, you dumbass. So anyways, but when I put the Joy-Con on the right way, it just like, I've never even touched a Steam Deck. But this must be what it feels like to use a Steam Deck. Like this thing is so, it just feels, after having both of them now, the OG Switch to me, it's almost like, I'm not going to say it's like the Wii U, because it's not. That thing was a Fisher Price toy. We've all said it. We know it. It's more, though, that like the Switch one feels like a prototype, I guess is what I would say. Like it wasn't a finished product. Of course, it lasted for 8 years and it sold. It's going to be the best-selling console of all time. But like this, I was like, this is the real deal. I like the Joy-Con. I know I was so nervous the first time. The first time you took your Joy-Cons out, I don't know why I said Joy-Cons. Were you like, I could push the button and lean it this way?
So I feel like either we were lied to or I was right and other people were wrong, because I was under the impression that the button like turned off, like it was an electromagnet, and that somehow disengaged the magnet. And it's not that at all. It's literally just a little plunger that just pushes it, just push it until it pops open.
Yeah.
Which is what I figured it would be, but I thought people were saying as if like, I don't know, you have to push the button. Like, no, you don't have to push the button. You could just pull it off. It's hard. It's a magnet. It's a good magnet. But yeah, it's literally just a plunger that just pushes it out from the inside. But
wait, have you tried to do that?
Yeah, if it's not connected and you push that button, it literally, there's no resistance.
No. I mean, have you tried to just go?
Oh, I haven't. No, but there's no reason.
I was going to say, I'm not going to try it. I don't have any physical games for any physical Switch 2 games, so I can't taste them. It ended up being so funny that like the day after that, nobody knows this. The day after whatever that episode was, like 2 months ago or something.
It was like the very beginning of March. It was like a few days after I was going to Mardi Gras. I mean, a few days before I was going to Mardi Gras. And you're like,
I was like, here, Sean. I was like, I licked it. And I was like, oh God, this is gross.
Try it. I'm like,
you try.
Whatever.
Then the
next day, you're like,
the next day, this was the second day I had woken up. But again, I never thought I was actually sick. 2 days in a row, I woke up with horrible sinus pressure. I didn't have a fever. I didn't have sniffles. I didn't cough, sneeze, anything. So I go to the doctor because at first I was like, Jess, can you just ask your friend Aaron, like, can Aaron just prescribe me a Z-Pack? Because I got a sinus infection. I want to get ahead of this before it gets bad. And she's like, no, I'm not going to ask her that. You need to go to the doctor. I said, fine, I'll go to the little clinic. Fine. So I'm filling it out and everything. And then they're like, hey, we're going to test everybody that comes in for symptoms like this. We have to test you for COVID and the flu just to be sure. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, that's fine. I don't have it, but okay. So I'm in there waiting. 10 minutes later. Right, Mr. Kevin, you tested positive for flu and COVID. I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. And then immediately I was like, oh my God, we licked the game cart and he's going to Mardi Gras. Sean was fine. He didn't get COVID. Anyways, I don't know how. Oh yeah, game carts. I don't know how they taste. James pulled one off on his video. You are a brave, brave man.
There you go.
I do. The other thing I like. Have you played it in handheld at all?
Yeah. I took it to work the first day.
Nice.
I'm like, all right, I stayed home just long enough, which took a very long time, but I stayed home long enough to get it set up, get the old Switch transferred. Like, it took a while. I got to work a little late. But I took it with me. I'm like, I'm going to play this on my lunch break. So I played some Mario Kart on my lunch break. But I think that's the only time I've played handheld.
It feels so much better. It's like the sticks and the D-pad, if you can call it that. The buttons are all bigger. They're still very small, but something about it just feels better. I think it's just the bigness, that it was embiggened. But what else? Oh yeah, so the only issue I have with this. So again, we were all talking in the Discord a lot that day, and I was like, guys, I think my dock is bad. Because when I finally got everything, I got done with work, and I was like, okay. Hey, Maddie.
Hello, Kevin.
Hello, Maddie.
Oh God.
And I don't know what I was saying. Oh yeah. So I was like, I'm finally okay. I haven't even looked. I want the first time I play anything on this to be on the big screen. So I go downstairs, I get my dock out.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Maddie. I plug it in.
Hi, Kevin.
And I'm like, hi, Kira.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Kira.
Hi, Kevin.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
This is important business here.
Come on, Joe Pesci is talking. Okay. I forgot again. Oh yeah, the dock. Plug it in, and this is when Sean was making fun of me. Are you sure you didn't plug it in upside down? Well, what
James was the one that said it, but
It
I
was,
did think
okay.
it was funny.
what had happened was, so I put the dock, and by the way, I did make sure that it was plugged in the right way, just even before you were making fun of me because of the way my day started. And like when I put it in the dock, the green light came on and the screen on the Switch would go black. So I'm like, okay, it's trying to send the video, but nothing is coming through. Don't disrespect from them. Show who's boss. Sean's a wuss. So then I was like, okay, maybe because everybody was like, you got to use the HDMI that came with the Switch. I was like, okay, fine.
No.
And so I was like, okay, fine. Let me go try another HDMI. It doesn't work. By the way, I'm putting this into an HDMI splitter, and that ends up being the issue. Then I'm like, what the hell is happening? Okay. And I tried, like some people were saying, okay, shut your Switch all the way down, like hold the power button and just turn it off and let it sit there for 30 seconds. Then turn your HDMI switcher off and plug it back in, then turn your Switch 2 on, put it in the dock while it's on, and everything should work. And it didn't work. So then I was like, okay, this is pissing me off. And I tried my PS5 HDMI because I'm like, obviously I know that works. I play PS5 every day. Nothing. And this is when I was like, guys, this is not good. And I had to leave, like I was on a time crunch. I had to take somebody to guitar. I don't even remember who it was. Thursday. Oh, it was Eliza for her lessons. So piano,
I
whatever.
was gonna say, how many kids do you have that play guitar?
I know. I just call everything School of Rock. I just call it guitar. And then I get back. And so because I just sit there and wait for her lessons 45 minutes. I just sit in the car and I just bullshit. But this time all I was doing was I was all over Reddit and everything. And it seems like it's not everybody. And no one, I haven't looked it up since then, but there is something where plugging it into a switcher plugging the Switch into a switcher does not switch the signal to the TV. And it doesn't affect everybody, but it is affecting me. So once I saw that, I was like, okay, I'm okay if I can see one wire, because I've got everything behind the wall. Let me just plug it in directly into the TV. Boom, everything's fine. So it's something with my HDMI switcher. I saw some people saying if it's an HDMI 2.1, it won't work. I saw some people saying it has to be HDMI 2.1 for it to work. Somebody else was telling me that I thought this thing was HDMI 2.1. Somebody in the chat's going to let me know for sure. I thought this was HDMI 2.1, but then he was saying, actually, I think it might be 2.0. And that was one of the things people were confused about because HDMI 2.2 is about to come out. I'm like, I don't know. So I don't know what the issue is. So until this thing gets its first firmware update, I'm not even going to try my HDMI switcher again. But that is literally the only complaint I have about this thing. My Switch Pro controller works fine with it. It's easy to sync up. My 8-bit DOE does work, but they hadn't put out a firmware like available to everyone through their updater tool. But then I found on Reddit, some people had gone into like the back, like the inner workings of 8-bit DOE's site and found where they had like pending firmware upgrades listed, and you could grab it from there and manually install it. And I got my 8-bit DO to sync up, so everything's good, and it works with the old Joy-Con and all that stuff.
One of the guys that I watch on YouTube that's like he does a little bit of everything, but mostly a Mario Maker guy. He was playing Mario Maker on Switch 2 using the Switch 2 Pro controller. It's got the same exact issues. Like he was doing a speed run and he would like run and be holding up to go into a door, and he just like ran right past the door because it like didn't take the up input. And then like he would be randomly ducking, and then he's like, look at this. He would like turn the controller around. He's like, I'm just holding up on the D-pad, like nothing but up, but just up. And you see Mario going, like there's all these like random left and right inputs. Yeah, I don't know how Nintendo cannot get the D-pad right on these things.
They invented it for crying out loud.
I'm not gonna even bother getting it.
So James said his Switch 1 Pro won't wake it up. That's true. It is annoying. I wonder if that's something they can add, in a software update down the road, because I don't even know if the Pro 2 controller does it. I assume it does. But yeah, that is annoying, that because I do remember I could just go push A on my Pro controller and go boop, boop, and it would turn it on and turn on my TV and everything. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about anything else about the console itself.
I mean, I feel like we already knew ahead of time, but I was still kind of shocked at how unchanged the UI was. Like, it's not even, I mean, it's Pam. They're the same picture. Like, it's exactly the same.
I think there's one extra thing at the bottom or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the buttons is different, but I mean, it's still.
But it's still.
You could.
But I don't even. It's so simple. I was like, just
they
don't
didn't change that much from the PS4 to PS5.
Yeah.
Like, you can still tell it's a PlayStation UI, but like, it's clearly different.
Yeah,
they didn't even do that much.
So the Switch 2, it has sold 3.5. Nintendo announced 3.5 million copies in the first 4 days. It is officially the fastest selling Nintendo console ever. And nobody has said this for sure yet, but everybody is pretty much saying it's the fastest launch for any console ever. Because I think PS5 sold 4 million in like the first 30 days or something. And I don't remember what PS4 was. Of course, PS5 was, and Xbox Series were supply constrained because of COVID, obviously. But yeah, and then Derek said in the chat, 700,000. Yeah, 700,000 Mario Kart World sales in Japan, 900,000 Switch 2s. So basically that means 200 people, 200,000. You know what I mean?
Have a Switch with nothing to play on it.
Right. So I will say, so now Mario Kart World. It's Mario Kart. Like, the more I play this, it is fun. It's Mario Kart. Mario Kart's never not fun. Well, I mean, I haven't played them all, so I don't know that for sure. 64 was not that good. You can hate me now. I don't care. But it's Mario Kart. Like, it looks beautiful. I did find out that if you run, when you play it with 4 players, so, the 4 players split screen, it does drop it down to 30 frames. So I was like, huh.
Okay.
That's annoying. Like, I don't think this is that technically whatever, but.
One thing I've noticed, so the only thing I've done the first 4, I think, like going left to right of the Grand Prix, and I did one, whatever it's called, like the cannonball run thing, knockout mode or whatever.
Yeah.
And I didn't win. I got knocked out at the last elimination thing. I was like 1 away, so I got knocked out. I was like, whatever. But it seems like when you do the Grand Prix, I don't even know what I'm doing half the time. Like, I can't tell. I'm like, am I doing laps? Is this just one continuous thing? I think it's just one continuous thing, but maybe sometimes there's laps. I don't know.
Yes. But no matter what, when you get like a third of the way through on a straight track, it'll go, you're on 2 out of 3. And it's like, but I'm not going in a loop. But you have to look at the mini map to actually know what the heck is.
So that's the other thing. The map is worthless. I feel like it shows like the whole track, and you're just like,
Yeah. I'm like, I
moving
can't tell
so little, and your
how
head is this
far.
big. Yes,
Yeah.
it covers up like half the track, it seems like. I can't tell. Looking over there does nothing for me to tell,
Yeah.
like, oh, I got a right turn coming up. I can't, it's blocking out like everything. So to me, the map is useless. I don't know that any of the tracks I've probably done between the 4 Grand Prix and the knockout. I've probably done at least 20 tracks or so. I don't I couldn't tell you a single one that stood out to me. Like there's none that are like, "Oh, this is my favorite track." They're all just kind of whatever. And I think part of it is when you're doing the Grand Prix, I guess you basically drive from one track to the other. And what's weird is I'm usually well into the next track before I even realize I'm in the next track. Like I'm like, wait, when did this happen? When did I go from like a snowy mountain to like a jungle? Like I don't even realize when it happened. It's just very weird. Like it's a fun game, but to me, all the tracks are not very memorable right now. And I don't know if it's because all or at least most of them seem to be like a circuit thing where you just get start to finish, not laps. So you never really see any part of it more than once. So I don't know. None of the tracks are that memorable to me. It's a fun game, but like I feel like Mario Kart, usually you're like, ooh, that's definitely one of my favorite tracks. That's one of my favorite tracks. And this one, I'm like, I don't know. I've done probably 20 of them. I couldn't tell you what my favorite is. They've
Yeah.
all been fine, but like nothing has stood out to me.
I still have not been able, and I haven't played it as much as like my kids have. I have not pulled off a wall ride yet. I'm like, bonk. I'm like, I thought I was holding the thing to do the jump, and I'm like, this is so friggin' frustrating. I will say, after having it for a week, the fact that they're charging $80 for this is asinine.
There's no need for it to be $80. No,
it's insane. Like and what makes me say that is like the whole thing.
If all games become $80, I think I'm okay with that. But for this to be like the first one, like not all of them are going to be $80, but this definitely needs to be $80. If they're not all going to be $80, this one didn't need to be $80.
Tears of the Kingdom was 70. It went up to 70. I've played that thing for over 160 hours now. And I'm not saying hours does not equal price, but especially when that, like, this is called Mario Kart World. Okay. The big thing they were selling us on was the open world and blah, 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 blah. I fire this thing up and I do my first Grand Prix and I win it. And I'm like, yay, whatever. I unlocked a character and a new car, whatever. Okay, cool. And then I'm like, okay, now that I finished the Grand Prix, I'm guessing it's just going to like zoom in and I'm just going to start driving and go where I want to go. And then I'm back on the main menu and I was like, well, that's weird. And then I was like, wait a minute, Grand Prix, knockout, multiplayer, whatever. And I'm like, where's this open world thing they were talking so much about? I finally see it down in the bottom corner that you push start and it'll take you to the open world. I was like, oh, okay, let's see what this is all about. I just start driving and driving and driving. I finally find a P switch. So I run into that and it's like, oh, you got to beat the train. Okay. Zoom, you did it. You get 100 coins. I'm like, okay, what the fuck do I use the coins for? What am I? It is like some people have said that like both of the Zelda games are very barren open worlds, which I don't agree with. But you want to talk about a barren world? This thing is barren. There's just nothing there. And I think the whole, unless there's something I am not just getting, like it hasn't clicked for me yet, the whole open world thing was so overblown. And with that being the biggest selling point of it, I'm just so confused as to how they think this is an $80 game.
I mean, unless they're just doing it ahead of time. They're like, look, we're not going to charge for DLCs, but we know we're going to continue to.
But we don't even know that.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. Maybe they know that and they're like, well, we need to be able to support this game. We're Nintendo. We don't have a lot of money. So we need all this money up front so that we can continue to, support this game and not have to charge. Like if they put out DLCs or little race packs or expansion passes, whatever, and they charge for them on top of it being an $80 game, come on. I assume if they do that, they will be free, and maybe that's why it was $80 up front. But which is also why I'm fine paying $80 honestly, $100, whatever, for GTA, because it's just like years and years of just free updates and just like, so like, if ever a game was worth $100, it's going to be that. Mario Kart, I know it's not 100, it's 80, but still, I don't know. Now for
It's
us, it was
ridiculous.
50, so whatever. But
Right.
yeah.
So the only other thing, you didn't buy the welcome tour thing, right? Whatever it's called.
No, I didn't.
So the only other thing I played on there, Sean fired up Breath of the Wild. I had the same thought, but I was like, before I even turn this on, I'm going to go online and make sure I know how to download the Switch 2 version. And I finally figured it out. It's not that easy, but because we've got the expansion pass, it's free. So find it, download it, wait. Okay. Pull up Tears of the Kingdom. There's my save. I open it and it's just linked like in Lookout Landing or something. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, this is beautiful. Like the colors and everything. And as soon as I start walking around, I was like, holy shit. This is what this game was supposed to look like the entire time. Same with Breath of the Wild. This game being at 4K 60 is unreal. It's unreal to the point where I have now done 30 something shrines and I've only beaten one dungeon because I've just been going around and unlocking all the towers so I can unlock the map. I got the thing for your iPad that tells you when you're near a shrine and everything. I think I'm going to try to get to 13 hearts before I go do any more dungeons, because then I can go and I remember now the Master Sword, how to get it and everything. And I'm hooked on this game all over again. And I can't believe it, because I was like, Sean, I'm just going to fire it up. I'm going to see how how it looks and everything, but I don't know that I'm going to keep playing it. The main reason I will say now, of course, neither of the Zelda games ever got a new game plus, which is annoying. But now remember, with the Switch app on iPhone and Android and everything, you get the Zelda notes as part of the app if you've got the game, if you get the two player, my God, the Switch 2 edition of it. If you go and you look at your play data and stuff, it's cool. It tells you, how long have you played, all this other crap. I've played stats. Time spent in Hyrule, 160 hours. I was at 140 on my old save. So I've now played this for another 20 hours. The thing that's, I wondered, and I thought I heard somebody say it from the beginning about the Zelda notes thing, is if you, like, one of the things you can do is this item sharing, where you can go in the game, you go to key items, and you're like, I can share my best sword with somebody else in the world, and I can put it in my locker. It's like Death Stranding. I'm like, okay, cool. But I was like, I'm pretty sure somebody said that what you can also do is you can take items from your original save, put them in your locker, and bring them down to your new save. So I was like, okay, if I can do that, I'm about to get addicted again. Play through the Great Sky Island. I get the 4 powers, do the 4 shrines. All that stuff is great. And then I get down to the surface and everything. And also one thing that I didn't realize, Sean, what I forgot, it does not have the walkout moment like Breath of the Wild does. Again, I think it's one of the coolest moments I've ever experienced in a video game.
The equivalent is the dive, right?
When you do the dive, I thought the dive was once you get the 4 powers and you go down to Hyrule. No, it's when you dive, like when you come out of the cave and you dive the first big dive. And it's like, and as he's falling
the Sky Islands,
to the Sky Islands that are below the big one.
I thought it was when you dove off of that.
You're flying, and all of a sudden I don't have control anymore, and I hear the music kick in, and the camera goes, and it's like next to Link. And I was like, oh my God, here's this music that I love so much, and then it hits me. I'm like, man, this is amazing. Anyways, so I do the 4 Sky Islands. I get down, and I'm like, okay. So I go into my old save, and I'm like, I don't know, these 10 Gibdo bones or whatever the hell they are, I'm going to put these in my locker and see if I can get them in the new game. So I put them up there, and I switch over to my my new save. I'm like, okay. I go to the key items, and then I go, you can either do deposit or withdraw. I'm like, come on, please work. Withdraw. There's nothing for you to withdraw. I was like, oh. So I kept playing for a little bit. And I was like, I want to try this again. Okay. So then I actually go into the app. And what you have to do is you go into the app, the item sharing. You probably can't see anything, but you go into the item sharing. You click on whatever item you want. And then once you click on the item, it says Gibdo Bone. You can either do send to game, game transfer, gift, or delete. Game transfer, what that means is it'll send it to Breath of the Wild. Now, a lot of stuff goes between the games, but not everything. If it's something that can't go between games. I don't think
I knew that was the thing.
Yeah. I didn't either until I started reading about this. But if it can't go from Breath of the Wild to Tears or Tears to Breath of the Wild, when you send it to your game, it ends up just giving you like 100 rupees or 200, whatever it is. You get like monetary value for it. But the send to game button is what you want to click. So once you click that, and you can only do 10 things per day. But I go in there and I go, okay, send a game for these 10 things. Or I just did it for one actually to start. And then I go to my new save. I go to the key items, go with deposit, or no, I go withdraw. And it's like, boom, one item has been added to your inventory. It's like, oh my God, it friggin' worked. Oh my God, it worked. So then I go and I'm like, well, let me get my silver Lionel Reaper or whatever it is. And I put that in the cart, withdraw. I go over there. There it is. Boom. Level 80 sword, whatever it was. I was like, oh my God. Yes. So I don't feel bad about doing this. First off, because it's a single player game. Second off, I already spent, like I said, 100 in Zelda is Belder, 140 hours with this game on the OG crappy Switch. This is the closest thing that you can get with either of these Zelda games to a New Game Plus. So I don't feel bad about it. I'm treating it like New Game Plus. And like I said, now I'm hooked. I'm going to beat this game again. It's one of those things where, you know, I had it last time we did our top 10. I had it as my number 2 game of all time. Playing it again, I'm like, this game is just amazing. Nothing has changed from the way I felt the first time, unlike Breath of the Wild. And I still think this game just makes Breath of the Wild obsolete. It's so much fun. It's just amazing. And with all that being said, though, if I did have to start from scratch with crappy little weapons that aren't powerful and everything and build my way up, like just hitting Octoroks with sticks, I don't know that I would have stuck with it. But the fact that I can get higher level weapons, I'm like, oh yeah, hardy truffles. If I get my hardy truffles from the other game and I put them in this, I remember the hardy truffles are when you when you cook those things, that's what gets you extra hearts. So I'm like, okay, and now I'm going to send some hardy truffles to my game. It's so much fun. I love it so much. Zelda is Belder, and I'm officially addicted. I've played it. Obviously, I've played it for 20 hours. I played it way more than I have played Mario Kart. Oh yeah, Nick, you were talking about the tracks. Nick did unlock. He finished first in all the Grand Prix. I'd finished first in like 3 of them, I think, and second in 1.
In 150?
No, 100. Well, I was doing 100. I don't know what Nick was doing, but
I've only done 150.
Well, look at you. Aren't you the bathroom?
Well,
I don't think 150.
Any unlocks you get from it, I assume you have to do by playing it on 150, but.
No, you can do it at 100. And I didn't, for some reason, maybe I just haven't played Mario Kart 8 in a while. I didn't feel like 150 was a lot faster than 100. It felt like it was faster in Mario Kart 8, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's somewhat faster, but I think it's definitely more the difficulty setting, but it's like, I don't know. Like, I feel like you go a little faster, but they all go a lot faster. Like it levels the playing field or something. But
well, and I saw
it's
somebody
not just that everybody moves faster.
Yeah, I saw somebody said that, I saw a YouTube short that they're like their strategy. Because I'm like, okay, I'm not crazy for feeling this way. It feels like whenever I'm in first place, I'm gonna get fucked. Like
that's how
somebody's getting
play
a blue
all Mario
shell.
Kart games. Yeah, unless I'm like half a lap ahead of everybody in first place. I'm like, if I'm barely in first place, I don't want to be in first place. I'd rather just slow down and just be right behind the guy in first place, and then just like
until you get close,
get past him right at the end.
And that's what this guy's doing. He said this is the only way he's able to consistently win races against the CPU is you just have to, stay in second until you get to the very end. What else? I love Tears of the Kingdom. It's so freaking good. I love this Zelda Notes thing. And also it comes with like more voice memories and stuff. I saw Zeltic put up a video about extra lore. He's only done Breath of the Wild so far, but these 15 extra voice memories, adding stuff to the lore and what it means for the overall story and all this. It's just so freaking good. I love it so much. I'm having so much fun. That being said, if it wasn't for Switch 2 Zelda, Switch 2 version of Zelda. And I need to go try. I keep forgetting the GameCube's even there. I downloaded the thing, but I haven't tried it yet. But if it wasn't for Zelda, I would be like, yeah, I guess I could have waited, for the next 3D Mario or the next Zelda or something, or Metroid Prime.
Are you
honestly.
gonna get Donkey Kong or no?
They got to sell me on it big time. Right now, I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
I want
never
more Donkey
played
Kong
64.
I want that, but like 20 years, 25 years newer, whatever. Like, and I don't know that that's what this is. I still don't really know what this game is, but the fact that you can just like dig everywhere, I'm like, that just sounds like a lot of work. I don't know. I want to get it, but I don't know that I'm there yet.
James says Mario Kart 8 went up to 200cc. So maybe that's what I'm thinking of. That I'm thinking of 200cc races, not 150 races. Thank you, James. But yeah, I love this thing. It's great. Also the fun, because I've got all these stupid amiibo. One of the amiibo, at some point, it gave me... No, it probably wasn't that. I found the Ocarina of Time tunic at some point somewhere. And then I unlocked like the hat from my Link's Awakening one, I think. Because with the Zelda ones,
Is that the one where you get a life apart every time?
every
Every time.
But wait, why did we say that? Is there a way to get a new light? Is there a way to get extra health?
Yeah, I don't remember which one of your amiibos, but one of them, every time you get a life apart every time. That was Breath of the Wild. But.
Right. Well, this, all you do is you do L1, and then if it's a Zelda based amiibo, you get a chest with something cool in it, and then some like arrows and stuff like that. If it's just a regular amiibo that you just scan, it'll just drop like items like meats and cool Safinas and mighty thistles and all this other crap. But it's been fun doing that every day as well, to just be like, let's get my inventory up and go from there. Anything else about Switch 2, Sean? Our first week with it.
No, it's kind of underwhelming. It's more like I feel like I like the hardware better than the software right now. Like I love the look of it. I love the feel of it. It feels way more substantial. Looks great. Whatever. Not a whole lot to do with it yet, though.
I agree. Sean, anything else? What have you played before we get into the rest of the thing? Oh yeah, did you beat it?
I beat it.
Blueprints.
I found room 46 blueprints. So technically I beat it, but it seems like there's still a lot more to do and a lot of mysteries to solve. And I don't know if there's any kind of like true ending, or if it's just keep going and keep solving puzzles and keep learning more lore. Like there's a lot of like side mysteries going on that you can probably figure out what's going on. Like if I keep playing, I don't know if I'm just going to keep uncovering more lore, or if I eventually will get the true ending or something. I don't know, but I love this game. It's my game of the year right now. I beat it, but I'm like definitely not done with it. I want to keep playing more and more.
So now that you've beaten it, did you go back and look at how you can beat it in like under 30 seconds or whatever that one trophy was?
You have to beat it in an hour.
Okay.
And I mean, I'm sure in theory it's possible, but I don't know. There's so much RNG that I don't know if it's like, yeah, it's possible in the same way that flipping a coin or a 3-sided coin. I don't even know what that would look like.
It doesn't exist.
And getting heads compared to tails or feet. I don't know. 30 times in a row. I mean, like, yeah, in theory, it's doable, but like you have to have like the perfect run, I feel like, to be able to beat it. I think there's two trophies. There's one for beating it in day one. I don't know how you could do one and not the other, but there's one for beating it on day one, I think.
That's
and
what I
one
was
other
thinking
trophy
of.
for beating it in under an hour. I'm like, I don't see how you could ever do one of those without doing the other, but I'm pretty sure there's two trophies for that. But it's not like it would be impossible. Um, but I feel like it's so RNG. Like I feel like it's easier to beat Breath of the Wild
Going right for the
without getting any
castle.
hearts or
Yeah.
yeah, like at least that's skill based. Like I'm sure it's super duper hard, but like you can memorize patterns and do whatever you got to do. Like, but this is just all like luck based, I guess. So I don't know. I don't know that I'm even gonna pretend to try to get the platinum, but I'm definitely not done with it yet. And if it gets to the point where all of a sudden like that's the only thing I have left to do, maybe I start looking up on YouTube and maybe there are some I don't know if I'd say cheats, but strategies or whatever to make it more likely. I feel like best case scenario, you still have to get pretty lucky for it to happen. And I don't know that I'll have the patience to make that happen, but
Cool. Yeah, my game of the year is still Doom, but I do want to get to Blueprints at some point. But now that I've been sucked back into Hyrule, I think I'm good for a while. So yeah, and I haven't played anything else other than Switch. So Sean, let's talk Summer Game Fest and the Xbox show. Now, I'm not going to go through everything again. Like I said, I have a hard stop unless somebody else can pick them up. But there was a lot of stuff. So let's do Summer Game Fest first. I'm not going to go through everything that was there. I'm going to go through what I think were the highlights. So overall, though, I think this is one of Jeff's most lackluster shows ever. Summer Game Fest or Game Awards. I do remember seeing reports that it was going to suck. Like Jeff Grubb was saying, like, be prepared for this to suck. Like, it's not going to be very fun. And if it wasn't for the final announcement, this would have been like a D or something for me. But what did you think overall, Sean, before we get into some of the highlights from Summer Game Fest?
that's exactly how I feel.
Okay.
I remember, so Kevin and I were watching this together for at least for part of it. And when they showed the part where whatever his name is, the Resident Evil guy started talking, we were both like, we both ran out of the room
to another
because there
room.
was
So
too much noise going on where we were with all the kids and our dad watching the TV at like volume 11. So we ran to another room we were watching, and then he's just like, we're not quite ready to show it yet, but it's coming, don't worry. And we're like, after that, I was just like, I'm done. I can't watch anymore. I mean, I continued to watch, but I was just so annoyed at that part. Not a great show, save by the very end.
Yeah.
I can't even think of another. Oh no, I can think of a couple things. Oh no, I think I'm getting that and the state of play
Xbox,
confused. I honestly don't really remember much from Summer Game Fest, but it wasn't great.
I do think that the state of play, in 45 minutes, I think was way better than Summer Game Fest at 2 hours. Overall, I think the one big announcement out of Summer Game Fest was better than anything I saw, but we'll get to it. Okay. So they kicked off the show with Mortal Shell 2 being announced. It's out 2026. Holy shit. I don't think I even knew. Clearly, I did not know what Mortal Shell 1 was because I thought this was going to be some kind of like steampunk RPG kind of a thing. I don't know what I was thinking of. Out of all the Soulsborne likes that have shown up, and there was a lot at these shows, this one was the one that I was like, okay, this is at least different because it is so friggin' graphically violent and gory and insane. I was like, I wonder what Sean thinks of this. So, Sean, what did you think of Mortal Shell 2?
I thought it looked beautiful. I'm way more intrigued by it. So I heard nothing but good things about the first one. And I did try it once, but only like not nearly long enough to actually get any kind of feel for it. I just remember playing it and being like, well, it's not Bloodborne. It's not Dark Souls. This may have predated Elden Ring when I played it. I don't remember. But I remember just being like, it's not FromSoft, so I'm not going to waste my time kind of thing. But everybody that I ever heard from that played it loved it. now having seen this, I'm definitely intrigued by 2, and it kind of makes me want to go back and try 1 again.
Hmm.
But I was watching it, and yeah, at first I was like, wait, this looks a lot like. Well, there's a lot of things that looked a lot like Bloodborne. Um, but Mortal Shell 2 never even crossed my mind. Like I didn't think it was a big enough game to get a sequel. So I never even thought like, this is Mortal Shell 2. But as I was watching it, I'm like, it kind of reminded me of Mortal Shell because that's like the whole thing. Like in all these FromSoft games, you can like, I don't remember what they always call it, but like you can be like dead or alive. And if you're alive, you have more health, but you can be invaded. There's always like those kind of 2 modes. And I think that's what Mortal Shell was. You can like, it's a mortal shell. It's exactly what it sounds like. And when they started doing that in the trailer, I'm like, that kind of reminds me of that, even though I never really played it. And then
Yeah.
sure enough, that's exactly what it was. But yeah, that looked good.
I think it looks good for sure, but it's all going to depend on when it comes out and what the reviews are for me.
Yeah, if the reviews are crazy good, I would probably buy it. If they're so-so, I'll probably play it if it ever comes to like PS Plus, but
yeah,
we'll see.
I assume it's not going to come out next to Grand Theft Auto, but you never know. Next thing I wrote down here, apparently this had been announced before, but I have never seen it that I can remember. Mouse, PI for hire. It's coming out this year at some point. I wrote, it's a Steamboat Willie first-person shooter. I've never seen any, like, I don't know how people can do this. Like, I literally don't know how they can do it. Like, like, I don't know how they did Cuphead. Like, I don't know how you can hand draw stuff like this. Like, it's not, like, are they making this stuff as 3D? Like, I really don't understand how a game can look like this, but I thought it was probably the coolest, the best looking game at the show, just because it's so unique. Had you ever seen this before the show?
I don't think I had ever seen it in any official capacity, but I always seem to come across videos of it on Twitter, but I don't think I ever really knew. Like, is this a legit game, or is this just some weird tech demo that somebody is putting together in their basement or something? And so now that I've finally seen it, I think for the first time in a, official capacity, I'm like, oh my God, yes, I can't wait. I mean, that's my kind of first person shooter.
Yeah. Next thing I wrote down is something called Felt That Boxing. And this was the most like, what the hell is happening?
That was the weirdest looking thing.
It's just your Muppets and your boxing. What the hell is this game? Like, I don't know, but it was just another one of those, like, this at least is going to stick out because of the way it looks. Like, I will remember this game because of the art style and the Muppets and everything. But yeah.
Yeah, it didn't really look fun, but it looks
awesome. Yeah. Next thing I got here, the Lightspeed Overture DLC Shadow dropped. It is out right now.
Is it storming where you are?
I've heard rumbles.
All of a sudden, it's just like downpouring here.
Oh, great. Oh my God. We're recording this online. We should really, well, I've got a hard stop anyways. Are you going to go back for the DLC?
Is it free?
No. I think it's $30.
I don't know. Ooh, that's pretty steep. I loved that game, but I'm just rarely that big on DLCs. Yeah. I don't know. Probably not. Liza P2, I'm there day one, but I don't know that I need the DLC.
Next thing I wrote down, Animusha Way of the Sword got a gameplay trailer, and I just wrote, it still looks amazing, but we still don't have a date for it. This is one of the games where I'm like, I've never played any of the Animushas before. This just looks insane in the best ways. I'm on board. Again, depends on when it comes out and what's around it.
Yeah, I'm intrigued for sure, but I don't know. I'm not sold yet.
Next, Mina the Hollower is finally coming out. October 31st, one day after Sean's birthday, also known as Halloween. Just seeing this game again, I'm like, man, this is going to be so much fun. And I'm glad that it's coming out because now they can really get moving on whatever the hell they're doing with Shovel Knight. I'm so stoked.
Yeah, I can't believe this is finally happening. I feel like we've been waiting forever. Us more than Mo. I feel like a lot of people are like,
Yeah.
what is this? But like, yeah, I know we've been looking forward to it for a while.
I saw some write up was like, oh, Mina the Hollower from Yacht Club Games. Definitely looks like a Super Nintendo game. And I was like, why are you in the industry?
What?
No, it's a Game Boy Color esque game. Why would you look at that and think that looks like a Super Nintendo game?
Not even close.
Like, tell me you're an idiot without telling me you're an idiot. Um, I wrote down Lego Party is coming out at some point this year. So I guess somebody was finally like, we'll do Mario Party, but just make it Lego. I can't, I gotta believe that's not going to be a very big game.
Yeah.
Next up, Ill was announced. And I thought the whole time they were showing this, and I think Sean thought the same thing. I was like, this is Resident Evil. This is Resident Evil 9. It's finally happening. And then even when they showed the name of it, Ill, I was like, okay, wait. The font even looked like it because it had like branches, didn't it, Sean? Something like that. Like it had branches or veins or something going through the letters.
Had like weird little like lines going
through
them.
But it's just Ill. It looked disgusting. I'm intrigued for sure. Scott Pilgrim EX was announced coming out 2026. So, yep, there's the thunder. It is a sequel to the first Scott Pilgrim game. The story is being done by the graphic novels original creator. I've never played Scott Pilgrim. Everybody that's played it loves it. I don't know anything. I never saw the movie. I've never read the comics. I don't know anything about it. But everybody that like either likes Scott Pilgrim or likes beat 'em ups and has played that says it's one of the best beat 'em ups ever made. So it's on my radar, but I'm way more excited for like the Marvel game coming out this year, Cosmic Invasion. Any thoughts for you, Sean, on Scott Pilgrim?
I never got into it. I don't know. I mean, it kind of looks fun, but that's like PS Plus. Sure, I'll play it, but
yeah. Then we got a couple more announcements. Stranger Than Heaven is the official title for Ryuga Gotoku's new game. This is what they were formerly calling Project Century. It's like time traveling Yakuza. I don't know. I don't think this got a date. I know it didn't get a date, but I don't even know if they said 2026 for it or not. It looks beautiful. It's not for me though. Sean, can you say can you say the name of the studio?
Okay. Nope. Not going to try.
And then we get to the last announcement. Jeff's building it up and all this. And then after the second fake out, which included him saying, by the way, he said in that second fake out, he was like, just hold, what did he say? It's just a heartbeat. Oh, in the blink of an eye, you'll have more information. He wasn't very far off. Man, oh man. So it was funny because I think because you wanted it to be Resident Evil and you wanted to get your prediction right. For so long during that trailer, I mean, it's only like 3 minutes long or whatever, but for like 2 minutes, you were like, no, it's not. It's not. And I was like, Sean, this is freaking Resident Evil. I'm not doing this to. I was like, fine, screw you then. I went outside. I'm like, I'm going to watch this without that negative energy. And I went outside and I'm watching it. And I was like, especially when I saw the blonde girl, I was like, oh my God, it's Rose. But then they call her Grace. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. Grace Ashcroft. And I was like, okay, your mom, Alyssa, died. Go through the whole thing. Resident Evil Requiem is the official name. I feel like I got screwed because I didn't know they were going to do the number as a number and not a Roman numeral. I would have definitely, if I knew it was going to be a 9, I would have definitely said it's going to be called Requiem.
I'm sure.
First off, it looks amazing. At first, when I was watching this, I was like, is this Unreal 5? But I guess it's still the RE engine, which has got to be just about the most incredible engine out there. So you play as Grace Ashcroft, who's the daughter of Alyssa Ashcroft, who apparently is a character from Resident Evil Outbreak. Did you ever know? I didn't even know this was a game until I saw people talking about it.
I never played it.
But had you at least heard of it?
Weird about it. I'd heard of it.
Okay.
There was it's not like it was a rail shooter or anything like that, but it had a different play style from the others. I don't remember there's something weird about it that I just never even got interested in it, but But no, I never played any of them. Or I don't know, maybe there's only one, but I definitely never played it.
Um, so it is set in Raccoon City. When they showed the nuke, it didn't, or the crater, it didn't even hit for me that, like, oh yeah, they had to nuke Raccoon City after Resident Evil 2/3. And I say slash because they were happening at the same time. But then they zoom in and you can see on this dilapidated building, you see RP, and I'm like, that's when I was like, Sean, that's the Raccoon City Police Department. And you're like, I don't know. I don't know. People have seen it behind closed doors. They did confirm it can be played either in first or third person. And they said it is a quote unquote a big departure from the gameplay and tone of other Resident Evils. I don't know how that can be, because I just don't know what it could be. But Sean, what did you think about, first off, congratulations on getting your prediction correct. Second off, what do you think? And it's out in February 27th.
Yeah. All of a sudden, I'm starting to think next year is going to be the crazy year that we thought this year was going to be.
Yeah.
I was a little worried because it seems like we're not just going to get the third part of that trilogy, unless this is some big swerve and somehow it still does connect. I'm sure it will connect somehow. I was more worried that they were going to change the play style. But it sounds like I read the I think it was IGN's review of the demo. They're like, it's fine. It's still very much the play style of the other games. It's still very much survival horror, all that stuff. I can't wait. I don't really care what the story is. It's more the setting, I guess. And it took me a while before it clicked that I was like, oh my God, we're finally going back.
We're going back.
City.
Yeah.
Like, it's so weird, like, to think we haven't been there in a while. But like the story of 7 was whatever. The story of 8 was whatever. But like the setting of both and the characters and all that were just top notch. So I don't know I have no idea what's going on in this game right now, nor should I. But if the play style is fun, which it sounds like they haven't totally changed it, and it's still kind of more of a grounded, gritty kind of whatever of like 7 and 8, I can't wait. I mean, it's the same year as GTA 6, hopefully. So it's already pretty much disqualified from Game of the Year. But I could see it being my Game of the Year in almost any other year. So
I mean, at least it comes out 3 months before GTA. So that's good.
Yeah, that's plenty of time to finish it, I would hope.
So my whole thing was when they called her Grace and all this stuff, I was like, maybe Rose's name is actually Rose Grace or Grace Rose or something like that. But everything they're saying is that this is not Rose. It has nothing to do with it. Like, but I was talking to my buddy Brian at work, and he was like, until I actually play this game and I beat it, they can't convince me that that's not Rose and that this isn't connected to 7 and 8, because it's super weird. And I agree that they told us that was Ethan in that post-credit scene. Like, cause people at first they hacked the camera and they zoomed in. They're like, oh my God, I think it's Ethan. And then Capcom came out and said, yes, that's Ethan. How are you going to end it on that and not go back to him? Why is he there? How is he alive? What happened? I know he's got the black stuff, the tar or whatever it's called. So I don't know. I know it's supposedly not connected. We'll see. What I do wonder more is that now that we are going back to Raccoon City, do we get our boy Leon? We already got Chris. Chris came back in 8. I think he was there in 7, a little bit at the end, maybe.
He
at the very end.
He like dropped down into the helicopter.
Like, I'm Chris. Yeah. So I don't know.
I think Leon, I don't think we'll play as him, but I think he shows up.
Yeah. So that was all I had written down for Summer Game Fest. Next up, the Xbox Showcase. Very good also. First off, they did confirm Outer Worlds 2 is the first Microsoft $80 game. They said later this year their games were going to be going up to $80. And this is the first one. I can't remember if we knew this already or not, but it is coming day and date to PS5. I think we knew that, but I couldn't remember, so I wrote it down.
I think so, yeah.
Are you in on Outer Worlds? I forget. Did you play the first one or no? Did you try it?
No, I did. I never played it. I'm intrigued though. It looks fun.
Next up, High on Life 2 is coming out it was revealed and it's out this winter. I don't care. But I put it down there because you at least played the first one. Your gun's talking shit to you and everything. Do you care about High on Life 2?
Not enough to pay for it. I never finished the first one. I don't remember. Trying to think of what. Maybe it was Indiana Jones. Something came out around the time I was kind of just, I don't know. I was playing through it, but I wasn't like hooked. And then something else came, and then I never went back. And I don't know that I will at this point. I'd play it for free, but no, I don't think it's worth buying.
Then they officially announced the Xbox Ally. It's out this holiday. This is their collaboration with Rogue or Roger, whatever, however you say it. I don't know. And Sarah Bond, this bitch, said with the Xbox Ally, you can play Hollow Knight Silk Song on Game Pass at launch on your ROG Ally. And I was like, I'm at least getting half a point because that's a release something for Hollow Knight. And then I wrote here, update, stupid Sarah Bond. Team Cherry came out after the fact and was like, yo, we're not releasing. It's not tied to a console release date. It's still just holiday 2025. So I took away my half point and I now have 0 points. And I think that's where I'm going to end up. This is cool. I don't care at all. It's it does nothing for me. I would much rather just keep my Switch 2 than have an Xbox handheld. Super Meat Boy 3D was announced. It's out early 2026. It's coming to Xbox, PS5, and PC. And I just wrote, this looks fucking insane. This, if you could take Super Meat Boy and the insanity of that and put it in 3D, well, that's what they did. Are you in? You're much better at video games than I am.
So I haven't seen this yet.
Boy.
I only played it for a little bit. I feel like I'd be a lot better at it now. I feel like it was kind of like Celeste before Celeste. Like, I feel like if I tried playing it now, I'd be like, this is much more reasonable. But I remember trying to play it, and I don't know. I'm not sure what I thought it would be, but it wasn't what I thought it would be. And I don't know. It just didn't click. I'm like, I think I'm good. But
yeah,
we'll see.
I think it looks insane. I don't know that I have the skills anymore to play it. Next thing I wrote down here, Sean gets another full point because Indiana Jones and the Great Circle DLC was announced, The Order of Giants, and it's out September 4th. Sean, I think, is setting the record for the most points we've ever gotten in our predictions. with two.
Took 9 predictions to get there, but
and I still
I think those were both 2 of my first 5. I feel like my last 3 or 4 picks were just like, I don't know. This. So
I've got 0. So, and then my game of the show, my game of the week, my game of the summer. This is the one game that Xbox showed, and apparently it was 2 years ago that they first showed this, Clockwork Revolution. This is the game that I'm like, I hope this is coming to PlayStation. I assume it will be. It's still coming in due time. This looks even cooler and better than I remember it looking. They describe it as a quote-unquote time-bending steampunk first-person RPG. They showed some customizing of your character. You can modify your weapons. Obviously, you can control time, clockwork. Like, it's like you can do this in the past. There's humor. I said it looks like BioShock Infinite on steroids. This game, outside of like the obvious of like GTA 6 and everything, this might, and obviously, I mean, Death Stranding's coming out in a few weeks, and Metal Gear Remake, all that stuff. Of the stuff we know about now, after this summer, I think I am more excited for this game than anything else. Clockwork Revolution, Sean, where are you at?
I don't know. I feel like I need to. It's weird because I kind of just wrote off this whole show because I'm like, Xbox. But now it's like, no, I could probably play most of these games.
Everything's going to come. Yeah.
So maybe I do need to go back and actually give it a solid watch. But
I think this to me is the best looking game by far. I cannot wait. When they originally announced it, they said it would be out in due time, and then at the end of this trailer, they said it's coming in due time. So it scares me that they didn't even say 2026, but who knows? Grounded 2 was announced. It's going to Xbox early gameplay, whatever the thing's called. Game preview this month, I think, maybe next month. Gears of War Reloaded got a new trailer. It's still coming out August 26th. Persona 4 Revival was finally announced. So the remake of Persona 4 is real. I cannot believe that I didn't think to predict this, because there's all this news about the voice actors saying they're not coming back for any potential game and all this. This would have been an easy point if I had. I don't ever think about Persona. It looks cool, but I mean, it's Persona, so I don't think it's for me. Sean, are you in for Persona? Okay.
No, I can't. I can't do it.
Next up, I wrote that Invincible Versus was announced, coming out 2026. So Microsoft is getting their own comic book tag team fighter. This is a 3v3 fighter. It's super violent, as it should be. It looks cool. It looks bloody and violent and everything, but I've heard Invincible's awesome. I've never read the comics. I haven't watched the show. Rasan keeps telling me I need to watch the show, but I haven't yet. Did this do anything for you, Sean? And
I'm not really. I never got that into Invincible, and we've been over my thoughts of fighting games, especially 3 and 3.
Only a few more things I wrote down here. Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate is finally coming to Xbox winter 2025. Okay, that game came out 5 years ago. Was Remake 1, I think. Was that 2020?
It sounds about right.
I'm glad it's finally coming to Xbox. I'm glad they can sell more copies, but Final Fantasy 16 was out right now. It was shadow dropped on Xbox. I'm happy more people can play that game. That game, if it wasn't for Tears of the Kingdom, this would have easily been my game of the year that year. I thought it was an incredible game. The story was amazing. It made me cry. That game's fantastic. I'm glad more people can play it. Phil Spencer comes on and talks, and he says basically that next year in 2026, Xbox will have a new Fable, the next Forza, Gears of War E-Day, and then he says, quote, the return of a classic that's been with us since the beginning, ... Now, I almost want to give myself, because I have no way of getting any points, a half point for this, because obviously he's talking...
I'll give you a tenth of a point.
Obviously he's talking about Halo Remake. Like, it's been there from the beginning, duh. It's the only thing you didn't mention there.
Well,
you
right,
guys,
but if we already know it's coming...
But we didn't know until he said
it. But we still don't know. We don't know anymore.
I think that's an announcement that Halo Remake is coming, and I should get...
I'll give you a quarter point.
A quarter point. I'll take it. And then for some reason, they closed the show with Black Ops 7. I get it. They own Activision now. COD is the biggest thing there is. It's weird that we're getting Blops games back to back. I didn't play 6, even though I heard really, really good things about it. I've actually still got it downloaded on my PlayStation, I think. Night, James. I think it's just super weird that... I guess it's not... It's probably super weird to any of us that are listening to this that their show closer was the next Call of Duty. But to people outside of us, the general public...
Like Madden.
Yeah.
Like, we know it's coming every year. I don't know.
It's the biggest game there is. I get it.
I really don't care, because I just don't care about the game. But also, like, yeah, we know. Like, okay, now we know it's Black Ops and not Modern Warfare. You know, we know what the Call of Duty game is, but, like, come on. We know it's coming.
So that's all I got for the Microsoft show. As of now, we still have not had a Nintendo Direct, which I'm kind of surprised. Maybe we'll get one later this month. Maybe they want to get the Switch 2s out there and get all the data they can on how many they've sold and announce it at that. But I thought the Microsoft show was pretty good. Obviously, it went up a whole nother level with how much I am just over the moon excited for Clockwork Revolution. The other thing I didn't say, that was a long-ass trailer, too. It was like 5 or 6 minutes. And it's just... It's so good. Any other thoughts you got on Microsoft, Sean?
No, not really.
Sean, now it's time for the wrap up. I'm past my hard stop. Splatoon Raiders was announced coming to Switch 2. This is a spin-off of Splatoon. This is the first. This is the Switch 2 game you announce. This Splatoon Raiders, really? Sony Bend Studio has suffered layoffs that Schreier says is nearly a third of the company after their live service game they were working on for PlayStation was canceled earlier this year. Jesus, that's insane. Mind's Eye is out, and the launch has gone so badly that PlayStation is giving refunds, and this is the first time they've done this since the debacle that was Cyberpunk 2077 on PS4. I was actually kind of excited for this game, especially after GTA got delayed. I was like, it's Leslie Benzies. He was the producer of GTA. He knows what he's doing. I'm glad I didn't pre-order. Well, I guess I could have got a refund, but I'm glad I didn't waste any time on this game because obviously it's not what I thought it was going to be. This is not going to go the way you think it will. Oh, we must defy expectations. That's not the phrase. What is it? Oh, what is it? Rian Johnson. We always say Rian Johnson wanted to do what with The Last Jedi? Subvert expectations.
Subvert your expectations, yes.
Konami held a press start stream today where they announced Metal Gear Solid Delta's online mode. It is called Fox Hunt. It is not Metal Gear Online after all. People are pissed. Says it's going to take camouflage and hide and seek to the next level. It's going to be fun. I don't care. It seems like it's almost going to be like a prop hunt kind of a thing, but whatever. They also showed off Snake vs. Bomberman, which is the Xbox exclusive mode. They announced that Secret Theater is returning, where it's these funny, weird videos and stuff. And but now, instead of just being there, you're going to be able to collect these videos as in-game collectibles. They're like pins that like some of the bad guys are wearing. And I guess you got to knock them out and like steal them from them. I think what I'm realizing is this Platinum is going to be different than the original Metal Gear Solid 3 Platinum was on PS3. So we'll see. Because obviously you're probably going to have to collect all those.
I assume, yeah.
They also announced Bloober Team is working on another Silent Hill remake. They didn't say what the game is, but when they played it, apparently when they announced it, music from Silent Hill 1 was playing in the background. So there you go. Stellar Blade is out on PC and is Sony's second published game on PC to hit 100,000 concurrent players on Steam. I'm sure they're all just playing it for the articles. That was a joke. Get it? You read Playboy for the article? Okay. Elden Ring, it was announced when it came out. 2 million copies on day one. I know we're a couple weeks late on this, but it's weird that I just don't care at all about playing this. I never thought that would happen with an Elden Ring game, but it's not.
Yeah, I've kind of just, I don't know. I think I've already moved on from it.
Yeah. Street Fighter 6, after the launch of Switch 2 and more copies being sold, Street Fighter 6 has now hit 5 million copies sold since it was released a couple of years ago. PS Plus extra games for June include FBC Firebreak, Battlefield 2042, Ayudin Chronicles, The 100 Heroes, and more. PS Plus Premium in June is getting Deus Ex: The Conspiracy. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this episode of the Two Player Co-op Podcast. I do think, actually, this is probably our last episode until July, because we ain't going to have nothing. If they drop a Nintendo Direct or something next week, we'll be back. But the week after that, I'm going to be out of town touring around the Southeast with my 15-year-old who is playing in the touring band for School of Rock. So we're going to be groupies and follow him around for the week. And yeah, because of that, I'm going to miss the launch of Death Stranding 2. And then
I won't spoil anything for you.
I'm sure, Sean. And then when we get back, Jordan and Daniel are here, which I'm happy about.
Oh.
But I'm going to be so far. I'm going to have to just delete Twitter, I think. Because, yeah, I don't want any of that game spoiled for me. Obviously, so this is probably the last time we'll see y'all for a while. But until that time, Sean, go ahead and take us out.
Thank you for playing.